There we go, Doug Aldrich. How's it going with you?
Good. Good to talk to you, brother.
Absolutely good to talk to you too. It's like you're a busy man. Let's just put it like this. Everything you do, it's like it just keeps on going on the resume. I mean, just keeps on building. Just personally, how do you maintain like your schedules? Because you got so much stuff on the go all the time.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't have that much going on. I'm basically 100% dead daisies at this point. I got kids at home that I got when I'm home, I'm kind of taking care of the family and stuff and doing some sessions and stuff here and there. But majority of the time, they keep us pretty busy.
As like that, you guys, preparing for a North American tour. I mean, that's going to be pretty amazing for the summer. And how much time do you have to dedicate, to prepare for something like that? Certainly crossing to Canada.
We it's we put a little extra time in because we've got a new lineup. We've got the return of John Corabi. We're really excited about that, and also we've added Michael Devon on bass. Michael Devon from Whitesnake. Uh, so we've got in rehearsal about oh, it was in May. We got together and played, went through, put together a set list with everybody, management and the band, and we are kicking off in about a week's time. Well, a little less actually, about 5 days. We're going to go back to New York and rehearse the show for a week, and we'll be good to go. We're going to start in August at the Landis Theater in New Jersey. We'll do like one day of pre-production there, and then we'll just get going, man.
When you bring your arsenals and stuff like your great guitars, because your collection is amazing. What do you bring when you go, in Canada, let's say? Because it's like I'm sure local is a lot different when you're playing in the US. That maybe touring, you're going to be bringing less, classic guitars or just whatever. You just bring the best.
No, I have my touring guitars that I like the most, and I basically will bring a small tour rig for the entire thing, including I believe it'll go to Canada. I'm not sure yet, but starts off with my Les Pauls, or I'm bringing a couple of Les Pauls, including this Sunburst that is got a nice flame to it, which I just really dig it. But my main guitar is a reissue 57 gold top that has been outfitted with some Sir pickups that John Sir makes, that are signature pickups, and they sound incredible. They're just ripping. And I have a few pedals. I use Dunlop pedals, Dunlop Wah and MXR stuff. It's from Dunlop. I have a signature pedal that a company called Magic Box makes me that I like a lot. And then for amps, I've just recently made a deal with Blackstar to promote their HT stage series. We had a chance to go through their entire range when we were in New York in May, and I really, really like it a lot. I've known the guys at Blackstar since they started the company, and you know, I know they were great amps, but I just didn't have a chance to really play through it. But the R&D that they're doing is absolutely incredible. Like they've got. Well, let me show you this thing. Hang on one sec. I'll be right back.
Sure.
I know this is I know this is not normal, but I will show you what I aside from their tube amps, which are insane. This thing right here is their amp two. It's like a pedal amp, and so it's. I was actually online and I saw, of course, we were talking to Blackstar, but around the same time I saw online, Tracy Guns had just gotten this thing and it had done a demo on it. And I thought, man, that thing sounds really good. And it basically got all the bases covered from, you know, for like a fly gig or something. It just you can plug this straight into a 4x12 cabinet, and you got an XLR out to go to the PA. You can do an effect loop if you want, but it's got, built in, it's got a really elaborate drive setup, modulation for like chorus and whatnot, and a delay and different reverbs. And it goes from basically you can switch it from 1 watt to 100 watts.
Wow.
It's crazy loud, and it sounds really good. So in a pinch, and for practicing and stuff, it's just really fun to play through. But in a
What was that
pinch for
called?
a fly gig, that would be a good one.
And what is that called again?
It's called the Amp 2.
Okay. Incredible.
Yeah, it's really good, man. Really good. You can it's amazing. You plug that thing into a 4x12 and it sounds beastly. It's really cool. But again, I'm mostly using their tube amps. Their HT Stage series with EL34s is the one that I've been using. I really love it.
Do you find that, technology now is getting like more compact and like eventually they're going to be making it so small, and replicating the actual sound of like, whatever you want, from the past?
Well, they do already. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but
there's all kinds of stuff out there. But I mean, the thing of it is, there's always like, I mean, there's you can get it to 97%. It'll sound ripping, really good. But it's that extra 3%, or whatever it might be that you get from a proper tube amp. And the response is where you feel it. It's like all these things with analog and digital converters, analog to digital and back to analog. There's It's pretty much instantaneous, but there's something about the feel of a tube amp that you just it's just that little bit better. So I love the technology and I love all this stuff for ease of whatever. But when it comes to a rock gig, I'm still going to play through a tube amp at this moment.
Doug, let's say like a question like this. You're a guy that bends chords pretty hard. How do you maintain the tuning at a live show? I mean, there's some videos out there, with Dio and stuff. When you're bending the strings, you know, it's pretty amazing. The guitar still in tune.
Well,
Or
that's the thing is first when you string it up, you I always, I put the string on, wrap it around so that it's kind of locked in itself. There's a lot of different ways to wrap a string, but the first thing I do is I'm going to tune this down a little bit. I'll have this string be on, but it won't be tight. It'll just be on, and then I'll just start here and basically grab it and twist it like this, like I'm pushing my fingers. Let me see.
yeah,
I'm pushing it like this, and I'll just go all the way down the string, going this way away from here, because I don't want to put extra pressure on the bridge spot. But I'll just do that, and eventually that string will stretch out a little bit. You don't want to overstretch it, but just get it kind of locked in. Then you tune it up and you play. Maybe do it one more time, or just play. Get your the temperature of your strings and your fingers should be the same. That's when you have some tuning issues. Sometimes live is like maybe before you go on stage, the guitar is sitting in a rack and it's getting cold
hmm,
from the air or whatever, and then you pick it up and you start playing, and it's like it's out of tune a little bit. But if you just go like this and get the strings back to the temperature that when they were being tuned, then all of a sudden it's back in tune again. But yeah, it's definitely a matter of stretching good so that you can,
yeah.
you know, and if you stretch the strings properly, it will stay in tune.
And this is an old trick you discovered, obviously, and how do you discover to keep it in very good tuning because the temperature thing you were talking about. Like that's one of the first times I hear about this.
Yeah, it's interesting because you can have you could be, a lot of times there'd be situations where you might be in the studio and you got just tune. Basically, in the studio, you're constantly tuning a lot, just to make double sure so that you don't hit a chord and it's out and it's like it was a good performance, but the chord is out of tune. It's no good. So you just constantly tuning. At least I am in the studio, double checking, making sure. And but then all of a sudden, the air conditioner turns on and starts blowing cold air on you, and it's like whoa, whoa, whoa. The
Yeah,
guitar goes, the strings go a little bit sharp, or they get out, and it's like okay, I got to, you know, get away from the wind. You can't be recording with the air conditioner blowing at you because you won't be able to keep the guitar in tune. Or at least it's a little bit more tricky. But yeah, no matter where you are, if you're outside and it's really warm, if you're inside and it's really cool, you got to maintain that um, kind of sound. Maintain that kind of temperature when you're, you know, so that your guitar will stay stable. For example, like aside from the studio thing, say you're backstage, you got a guitar and it's nice and cool backstage, and then you go on stage and it's crazy hot. That's going to be a problem too. You gotta leave the guitar out in the venue so it acclimates to the heat, um, and vice versa. If it's really warm backstage and you're going to play a cold gig, you got to leave the guitar out where it's kind of tuned and your hands are going to be a little bit warmer. But when you tune it, it'll be uh, it'll be around the proper temperature. Then when you set it down, it gets cold, and when you pick it up and start playing it, you know, with your hand going up and down the neck, it's going to settle in. So it's a little tricky, but it's not a huge thing. We're talking about small details.
it's like that. It makes for a guitar needs love, basically, and you have to give attention to it.
Yeah, it's just these little things that you pick up along the way that you go like, okay, now I get why, you know, like because if you pick up the guitar and it's really cold and you got to warm it up with your fingers, but you don't think about that. You just pick it up and it's like you go, oh, it's out of tune. Oh, let me tune it really quick, and then you tune it, and basically then it's starting to settle in. It just doesn't. It's like the first thing you got to do is get the strings at the right temperature. Then it should fall back into tune, just like it went out of tune when it got cold. Now it'll kind of come back in tune just by the heat. And we're just talking the tiniest amount. Then you might want to retune if or double check your tuning, but you don't want to change anything until you acclimate the guitar. All right, that's a boring subject, but we covered it.
Great knowledge story. I mean, that is incredible. Who in the hell talks about temperature of a guitar and fingers? Not many people. So that's great.
Yeah,
Like you guys playing the El Mocambo in Toronto. That's like a legendary venue, like August
yeah.
25th. Do you realize how many famous recordings come from that show? Live concerts.
I mean, the most famous one for me is the Stevie Ray Vaughan video, and that was the DVD that was recorded there with Stevie, and I guess it's in I don't know, 80s something. I forget what year it was recorded, but it was incredible. I mean, yeah, there's been obviously it's a world famous club. I don't know all the shows that have been there, but that particular show was to me the premier Stevie Ray Vaughan show.
You guys, Dead Daisies, you plan on making a live album sometime, like for with John Corabi and stuff like that?
Well, as you maybe you don't know, but we had John was in the band for a long time and took a break in 2019. We ended up taking a little bit of a left turn. We got Glenn Hughes involved, and
Yeah.
it was great with Glenn. But John's back, and but during the time when John was in the band, um, we did a live album called Live and Louder, and it's a great recording. It sounds really good. I forget if we I can't remember if we assembled those different performances from different shows or if that's one show. I don't remember, but it's a really good recording of the band, and sonically it sounds great. So any little mistakes or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's the sound of the concert sounds really good. But to answer your question about the future, we don't know exactly what we're going to do. We just know that right now we've got this best of album we're promoting. It comes out on August 18th. And it basically covers a bunch of different eras or all the eras of the Dead Daisies from, basically borrowing songs off of each of the six studio recordings. And we kind of, management kind of went through and worked a set list out that we thought would be good for the running order of the best of. And then it would also make a great, the start of a great set list. We might change a few songs here and there, but basically, it's a good representation of the band to celebrate 10 years, which is, in band years, that's pretty good, 10 years.
And what's good about the Dead Daisies is like you guys grab like greatness from all aspects of like, all the album with Brian Tishy, and it's like you deal White Snake, more White Snake members. And it just
Yeah, Michael Devin is in the band now. Michael and I and Brian worked together in Whitesnake for a number of years, and Michael is just an insane player. He's an amazing singer as well. He's got a great voice. He was actually, I think, kind of David Coverdale's right hand man. Um, even, well, when I was in the band with Whitesnake and Michael came in, he started singing a little bit, and it was like, wow, this guy's got a killer voice. And then um, after I left Whitesnake, he kind of started to really work together closely with David on and sing a lot of stuff together. Um, you know, David, of course, is an amazing singer, but Michael's tone was just killer. So I'm very excited about him being involved with him and Brian together. It's killer. It's great. Um, and with John, you know, it's like you said, there's three-fifths of a Whitesnake band with John and David. Not too shabby, as covered, I would say.
so you're basically bringing fans from all circles here, to come and see. I mean, John with Motley Crue era,
Yeah,
it's all good
yeah,
stuff. Powerhouse.
yeah, yeah. I mean, John. Well, the whole thing is that anybody that's seen the band with John knows that he has they're all the singers that have worked with the Dead Daisies are brilliant, but they're all different. So John's thing is basically emceeing a party. Kind of, he's a great singer. He kicks ass. You know, he's got that straight kick in the teeth rock and roll sound to his voice that Motley loved and Dead Daisies loved. Um, so he's just, it's just a kick ass lineup, and yeah, I think having his fans from Motley, fans from Dio and Whitesnake and Ozzy and Foreigner, all that stuff. It's going to be good.
As like that, you're staying in Canada for a little bit because you're going like Montreal, Ottawa, then going at the end Vancouver, like West Coast. So that's
Yeah,
pretty good 2 weeks, let's say, in Canada. That's awesome. Or week
yeah,
after like that.
we're very excited about it. It's been a while since we've been to Canada. Obviously we hadn't been since before the whole COVID thing, and I think the last time maybe it was just Montreal and Toronto and around that area. But because I've never been to Ottawa, I've it's my first time. I can't wait to go there. I've only been to Vancouver once or twice. I can't remember. I guess two times. Once with Whitesnake and once with the Dead Daisies. So very excited about returning there. But yeah, Montreal is a great rock and roll town. Toronto's one of the killer cities. It's one of the greatest cities in the world.
Mhm.
So very excited about being in Canada.
Well, Canada will be pretty happy to see you, Doug, and the Dead Daisies. playing. So that's gonna be awesome.
Well, we can't wait. So we'll see you guys there. And, people can always look us up on the internet. There's the tour dates on deaddaisies.com. And yeah, so come out and hang with us. It's going to be a great night, great rock and roll party, kick ass music. And I'm not sure who's with us on the night, but it'll definitely be somebody good. So come out and hang with us.
Harmonies is playing and they're pretty solid.
Nice. There we go.
All right, Doug, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Incredible guitar player, always been in my eyes, and just keep up the great work, man.
Thanks, brother. You too. Thanks for spreading the word, and look forward to seeing you up north ASAP. All right. Thanks, bro.
All right, you
All
have a
the
good day.
all the You too, man. Thank you.
All right, peace.
See you.